We need more than love for marriages to work. We're going to need love and respect. Both husband and wives need love and respect. However, it doesn't mean that they both need them in the same amount of quantity. See, it is my belief that women favor wanting more love than they want respect. But on the other hand, men want more respect than they want love. Now, do they want them both? Sure. But it is the differences between the genders that sometimes brings conflict in a marriage, because a wife doesn't understand why her husband is acting the way he's acting, and it could be that he's looking for respect. See, if I was to ask the average brother here, an average man, does your wife love you? Most men without hesitation, yes, she does. But if I was to ask, does your wife respect you? That's a good question. Let me think about it. See, and what a man is really wanting is more respect. And what a wife wants is a lot more love. And here's what Peter says, which kind of confirms this. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Wives, in the same way, be submissive to your husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornments, such as braided hair and the wearing of gold jewelry and fine clothes. Instead, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. For this is the way the holy women of the past, who used to put their hope in God, used to make themselves beautiful. They were submissive to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her master. You are her daughters if you do what is right and do not give way to fear. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. Notice he says, in the same way, husbands, be considerate. Consider, what does consideration mean? It means you put yourself in another person's position. Ask yourself, what does it feel like being in this position? And then I should treat that person knowing the position they're in. But a lot of times we treat people in the position we're in the way we want to be treated. And while we want to be treated a certain way, we forget we're not in their same shoes. For example, if a man says to a wife, and he tells you something bad at work, what he's looking for is a wife to say, you know what, I think you should do this. But when a woman says, I had a bad day and here's what I'm doing, she's not wanting the man to tell her the answer. She's just wanting comfort. Oh, that's so bad. That person, do you see the difference? See, for me, I'm looking for answers, but for a wife, she may be looking more for comfort. And what Peter is saying, it is so easy for women to forget what a man wants. He's wanting respect, and that's why he's emphasizing submission. Notice twice submission is mentioned. Obedience is mentioned another time. What is he saying? He's saying a man wants to feel important. He wants to be respected, and you need to show him that respect. Treat him as the king of the castle. But then he tells the husbands, now you need to know what your wife's thinking and treat her with that love and recognizing she is heir with you. So what Peter is signifying is the differences between the genders. Is that man is wanting to be the hero to the wife, and thus Peter emphasizes, submit to him, obey him. Show him that honor, because that's what he's longing for. He needs that. And the wife is needing that love and that consideration. And you must, as a man, show it to her. And there was a study that's been done of all the Oscar winners from 1936 to 2010. All of these decades, you know what they discovered? That men are far more likely, when they win an Oscar, to lift it up like this. Why are men more likely to lift it up? Because What they're signifying is, I won. I'm a victor. And what he's trying to say is, you see that, honey? He's wanting to be the hero, the bread provider, the one who succeeded. He wants to feel important, so he lifts it up. But the same survey or study showed that women generally just clutch the Oscars in their hands like they're cuddling a baby. Why? And what's the other thing that they discovered? Is that women are far more likely to cry when they give their speech. Does that surprise you? No. Does it surprise you that men lift it up? No. Does it surprise you that women cry? No. Why? Now, society will tell you, well, it's culture. They've trained people to act that way. No, no, no. They have done studies on little children, little boys and little girls. They put them in the same room, and they have a bunch of Barbie dolls and a bunch of Tonka trucks. And the boys almost always go right to the trucks, and the girls go right to the dolls. No one trained them. You know why? Because God made men and women differently. And if we don't appreciate the differences, we're not going to be happy and married at the same time. And the differences is what's important to take note. And so this is what Peter is in essence saying, is you need to understand what each person needs. A man needs esteem, therefore submit. A woman needs protection and cuddling, care. So here's what he says. Now watch this. Verse 7, husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives and treat them with respect. Can y'all say, with respect? Women need respect too. So I don't want anyone to think that women don't need respect, because he says you need to treat them with respect. Now watch this. As the weaker partner and as heirs with you. Now watch this. Whatever Peter meant as weaker partner, it should not be interpreted to be meaning an inferior species or the inferior gender, because it can't be inferior when he just said heirs with you, because heirs signifies equality. But what does he mean by weaker vessel or weaker partner? The word partner literally means a vessel, like a cup, like the communion cups we have there. That would be a vessel. Now, in your house, you have many different vessels for different purposes. You use Tupperware all the time. How many of y'all have Tupperware type of material, right? That's plastic. Tupperware lasts a long time. You can dishwash safe. You can throw it in the dishwasher. You can literally throw it in the dishwasher. You can drop it on the ground. It pops right back up. You pick it up. You dust it. It's no problem. Tupperware can be tossed around. But then you also have in your house china. Now, china is more expensive than Tupperware. And when I want to impress a guest, and I have a guest of honor at my home, I don't bring out the Tupperware cups. I bring out the china, because I want to show off. This is what's valuable. Yet, are you ready? China, if I drop it, it crashes. It goes into pieces. The thing that is valuable, the thing that is even more costly than the Tupperware, is actually more fragile. This is what Peter meant. The wife is the weaker, fragile vessel. Doesn't mean she's inferior or unimportant or inferior. No, rather, whatever she lacks in strength, she makes up in beauty.